Hello,
Hi, Rabbi.
how you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Just doing some Facebook Live. I'm doing Jewish proverbs every day.
Yeah.
Hebrew proverbs.
What's what proverb for today?
The proverb for today was it's a good one. Which one did I do? Well, it was that you can't buy parents. Yeah, can't buy them. Do you have Facebook Live? They're on there. I put
I have Facebook. I haven't been able to get into it for a while.
and the Ayin Hara I put on there too. The little thing about the evil eye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was just on a private group today. They want me to do a class on it in 2 weeks, so I'll do it for our group and I'll do it for that group too as well.
Good.
I was just reviewing the last 2 days, my Hebrew conversation again, seeing which things are important, which things aren't, what they use in the Ulpan online, what things are important, which things aren't.
Mhm.
But I've been learning Italian the last 3 months, and we're going to Italy. But I'll tell you, the thing is, you have to practice it and use it.
Yeah. When are you going to Italy?
Maybe next year.
Oh, wow. With family?
Well, we'll see how it's going to work.
How about
My
your
son-
Spanish? Are you brushing up on that for your son's wedding?
Well, I don't know if it's definitely going to be in Mexico, but Italian and Spanish are related.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That's not going to be till probably at least November next year. So
All right.
got plenty of time for that. So on page 122, I was looking at the conversations at a restaurant this week on the Ulpan site. Well, when we do go to Israel, we go to a restaurant and we have to ask for a menu, first of all. So we go to a misada. You see that on 122? Misada is a restaurant.
Okay.
And where do we go? I went to the Red Heifer this year. It's in Jerusalem, which is Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
They saw Ra'u. They saw the restaurant. Him Ra'u at misada. We couldn't find the misada. There wasn't good instructions. Even Waze couldn't find it. It was in an alleyway. It's figures. Waze was invented in Israel could just find me the parking lot. Even one of the workers at the restaurant couldn't describe which alleyway to go down. I wish it would have taken 15 minutes trying to find that restaurant. For
They don't have signs?
$82 a steak, it figured me.
Wow. Do they have like street signs in there?
Yeah, I had the street, but for some reason Waze got mixed up where it was because it was down some small alleyway. Only when we found it because a woman lived across the street from it. And a woman was going to her house, said, "Do you know where the Red Heifer?" She goes, "Yeah, it's down that next road over there." So
Oh, nice.
it's the only time I had a problem in Israel finding a location.
And was it far from where you were staying?
5 minutes from the down. I didn't stay in Jerusalem. I was after the tour. Marcy and I were looking for the restaurant. It was 5 minutes from the King David restaurant hotel. Anyway, it was supposed to be easy, but sometimes that's the only time I had a problem finding something.
Did you travel many of the places that you've been to before while you've been there?
Yeah, we did because she was never there before. Yeah, yeah. I went to Tzfat. I was there a couple of times. Yeah, I went to Nahariya, which is by the Lebanese border, which is overlooking the cliffs. We went to Akko again. That old old town over by the water over there, old medieval town. Yeah, I went to Eilat again, which I had been to. I was never at the Mitzvah Rimon. I never went to Crater. Yeah, I went to Jordan for the first time. That was the first time in Wadi Rum and Petra. That was the first. The Bawabis are going there this month, so they're going to Petra too.
Right. Now,
Uh,
does it end up looking more changed, like more developed each time you go?
oh yeah, Eilat. When I haven't been to Eilat down since 1971.
So that
I
must be quite different.
and it was 100 degrees at night. I didn't have air conditioning back then in
Oh,
1970. Yeah, this hotel was on the beach. Yeah, it's different. Except it was an Muslim holiday and people were going berserk all night.
that's right.
That was the only problem in Eilat, to tell you the truth. The only time I had a problem, they were going a little drunk and they had like 20 in a room. Eilat is beautiful. I mean, you have to get used to the heat. Right now it's like 98 during the day, 98, 99.
Hmm.
But it has one of the best snorkeling in the world. People go there to snorkel.
Really?
I call it like a mini Tel Aviv because the boardwalk is very small compared to the Tel Aviv 12-mile boardwalk. So you have a little boardwalk there. And there is free parking, municipal parking there, which is nice. About 4 minutes from the hotel, I found a municipal lot for free. I don't know if it was a municipal lot or just a piece of land that no one was using. The problem with a lot is they don't believe in lights. They're all roundabouts. Everything is a roundabout. There's no lights allowed in a lot.
Oh,
I think I didn't go to Beersheba. I think Beersheba is the same thing. I think they don't allow lights there either. It's a pain in the neck going over 15 roundabouts in a row.
huh. So with it being as hot as it is over there,
I was there, it was 92 when I was there. It wasn't the hottest.
do people still like use bicycles as
Yeah,
transportation
yeah. I didn't see many people on. Oh yeah, in Tel Aviv Beach, everyone's on a bicycle. Yeah,
on the beach? Yeah.
people. I think that's the number. First of all, Tel Aviv has the most dogs of any place in the world. They have more gay people than any place in the world. It's the most expensive place to live in the world, and I think there are more bicycles than anywhere in the world. So
Really?
Tel Aviv is quite the city. There's a lot of gay clubs. I didn't go to them. A lot of gay clubs in Tel Aviv. So,
Really?
oh yeah, number one for gay people in the world is Tel Aviv, the number one destination. I think that 15% of the population are gay. I think something like that. 15%.
Wow.
They all flock there. Yeah,
That's interesting. And the most dogs.
that's where the gay parade is. The gay parade is in Tel Aviv every year. The Gay Pride Parade, the big one, is in Tel Aviv. I think it's the
Really?
biggest in the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people protested, the ultra-Orthodox. They protested.
Do they really? Yeah.
And that's where the big protests against the government are in Tel Aviv. There must have been 10,000 people. I saw a picture in Tel Aviv the other day.
Wow.
It's a great place to live. I wish I can live there, but it's the most expensive city in the world. I was asking our cab drivers. I was passing condos and they were $11 million each by the beach.
Wow.
And don't forget, taxes are high also in Israel, almost 50%.
Yeah. Ow.
Because there's socialized medicine and free education. So
And do people get paid enough to actually do that, or they just do it
I
on
don't know.
credit?
My niece doesn't make a ton of money for that whole thing.
Oh,
She's in North Tel Aviv where that ramming accident was yesterday, where that ramming terrorist activity was.
did you talk to her about it? Was she shocked by it?
Yeah, shocked when it's right by your house. Yeah,
Right. Or I don't know if some people are just numb to it too.
well, when you injure 8 people seriously, it's bad news.
Yeah.
And well, don't forget what's going on in Jenin in the West Bank. I mean, the Israelis, I think they finished the killing. I think 12 people dead this week in the terrorist capital of Israel there. It's interesting because when I went to the north, when I went back to Tel Aviv from there, you could see where Jenin is. So I mean, I didn't go near there, but technically it's right nearby, so right in the neighborhood. So I mean, it's a shame to me. I was just talking with the last class with my buddies from Arizona area and Israel, and I said, "What can we do about peace?" I asked my friend Mordechai. He's really one of the best healers in the world. I asked him. He lived in Sfat. He left Israel. He moved out of Israel 4 months ago. He's in Arizona. He left.
Because
It
it's too
was just
dangerous, or just because you
there
wanted
were
to.
there were attacks near his house and stuff in the north, near the border. So he left. But he told me we did a little meditation for peace. So how else you can do really? So we did a whole group. We had like 8 of us on it. Had a group meditation for peace on it. So,
That's good.
no, he said I have to read the article. In 1978, the Dalai Lama sent 400 people to meditate in Israel in Sfat, in the holy city of Safed, where the Lachadodi was written. All those Kabbalist graves I showed on Facebook where, so you had 400 people meditating all day, and there was a dramatic decrease in terrorist activity. So I don't know how often you can have all these people meditate. I have to find out. I think there are some places where people meditate all day on peace. Dan, I have to find out where it is. So
It's still pretty similar though to a group of people saying they want things to be better, things to be changed, right?
yeah,
The more public that it becomes, the chances are that there's more people who are going to either participate or adhere to what you're saying. Now, there could also be the opportunity for radicalists to come out and say, well, I'm going to squash that or try to squash that. But I think it's still pretty impactful when you have a group of people come together to say that they want to do something, make an act to make something better.
I see on Israeli TV they keep saying how weak the U.S. is, and that's causing a problem. Meanwhile, Israel bought 13 stealth fighters from the U.S. for $5 billion this week.
There you go.
And you know what? America paid for it.
Right.
So you got to show a little gratitude, please. That's $5 billion of stealths. That makes 35 stealth bombers in Israel.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Israel has to have the best IDF. It has to have the best war machine in the world. So Mordechai was pointing out, he says, people don't get rich about peace. People need war to make money in different industries.
Right.
I mean, he has a point, doesn't he?
Yes, it's a very, very valid point because it's true. There's no money to be made and everyone getting along and doing for one another and all of that. So,
Which is a shame, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
So the word of the day is Har Zion, Mount Zion. That's where I lived in Israel. Har Zion, Mount Zion in Jerusalem.
Huh.
Yeah, it was great living on Har Zion. It was really unbelievable. To live on that mountain, overlooking is Jerusalem, it was really great.
Post
That
the
was
top
years
or
ago,
even the middle.
back in 1977. The Knesset is the parliament, and the Hebrew University is a big university. Obviously, it's Universita HaIvrit, the University of Hebrew U. Hungary is Ra'ev, which I'm hungry now, even I had lunch for some reason. You have lunch over there for the kids?
Yeah, the kids had peanut butter and jelly and tomatoes, and I had rice and curry. So,
It's fattening. I didn't eat the other day. Oh my God. Mango lassi, dal fry. Ooh, calories, a lot of rice. Ooh, not good for losing.
yeah, no kidding. No, not good for losing weight. How do you say hungry one more time?
Ra'ev.
Raiv.
And lechol is to eat. Ani ra'ev mod, in other words, I'm very hungry. Ani rotzeh, or you would be ani rotzah lechol mashahu. I want to eat something. Curry is curry.
There we go. I'm sticking to the right stuff then.
What I had was dog, fish.
Fish, yeah.
Basar is meat. Marak is soup.
Oh, I'm trying to think, what was the name of the very
Glida
saucy fish?
is ice cream from when I was looking at the old pond the other day. Glida is ice cream. Uga is cake. At least sukar is better without sugar, but it's hard to find things without sugar. Hadod shelcha is your uncle. Dode. Dode is uncle. Rehov Yafo is Yaffa Road. Rehov is street, like a road.
Okay.
Bachur is a young man, a bachurim. So if you're pointing to some guy, he's like 11 years old, you say, yeshiva bacher, as they say in Yiddish, right? He studies in the yeshiva. It's a boy that studies in the yeshiva. Now here's important for the restaurant, Meltzar. Waiter, Meltzar, please. Can I get your attention, please? Bavakasha, Meltzar, Bopo. I didn't have to do it too much in Israel. But Boipo, please come here. Meltzar. I don't know how you remember Meltzar. I just been doing it my whole life, Meltzar. So Dan, for me, Meltzar is easy.
So what age were you when you started doing like conversational Hebrew? Did they do it in day school?
I didn't do it in day school growing up. We didn't do conversational. We did biblical.
Huh. So when do you think you would like be the first? What was the age that you first learned Meltzar at?
Oh, so
university?
We didn't have conversational. So Meltzar was probably, I learned it when I started using like programs for learning Hebrew. Probably back in 1977 when I was in Israel. I was looking at books. I was trying to speak to people in the yeshiva, but most of them were Americans.
Oh, well, there you go.
They didn't speak much Hebrew. So I had a book there with me, with had Meltzar in there. Yeah, I was looking at little like tiny books of conversations so I can practice back then when I was 22 in Israel, because I was thinking of making Aliyah, and they said that because I went to yeshiva, they wouldn't allow me in the old pond. I knew too much, so they wouldn't let me in the old pond. So I didn't get an old pond training. They said I knew too much, which I doubt. I thought it was sad that they wouldn't allow me in.
Huh.
No, I wanted to go to this free program and immerse myself, but they said you're better off studying what you're studying there every day and don't worry so much about the language. They said you can make yourself known based on your biblical Hebrew and stuff.
Oh. That must have been a little disappointing.
Yeah. Well, I like tafrit. I didn't come across that word until later when I was practicing this past year before Israel. I didn't know tafrit was a menu. I never came across the word tafrit.
Huh.
It was a new one to me.
Then when you were in Israel, and you were at restaurants, did you hear people saying it?
Yeah.
You could, like, it's the word to use now for menu, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard it in the restaurants. I don't know, Marcy couldn't hear it really, but I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't put enough work into it to go to Israel to understand what people were saying.
No.
Don't forget they speak rapido.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
It's very fast the way they speak there.
Yeah. And if you're looking at someone and trying to figure out what topic they might be talking about, and the one word you might be able to pick out of the phrases, you don't know if they're going to use it at the beginning versus the end. And so, yeah, I can only imagine it takes a lot of time and practice to pick that up. But that's where Pimsleur really comes in handy, because the hearing it from somebody with the correct accent helps. But
Well, a milon is handy, a dictionary. You should have a milon handy.
Did she
Like
have one?
no, but I'm just saying if you
She
want,
had the rabbi.
I'm just saying you should have one handy to look up words. Hayom, today, you should tzarich liknot milon, a Hebrew dictionary. Yeah. Like Marcy wasn't really into really having conversations like I was with cab drivers and waiters and bartenders and
Mhm.
tour guides.
You know, it'd be cool if we could get our group together like once or twice a year at the synagogue and have like a conversational um Hebrew little gathering, even if it was like small, like a
Yeah,
small food thing, but we put up all the like the cards for like window, wall, table, forks, knives,
yeah,
it's all kind of there. And it would be interesting to see how many people actually recognized
yeah,
words, you know, or being able to use them while they were sitting there. Because I mean, there's not a whole bunch of us, but there's enough of us that it would be fun to get together and kind of
yeah.
do something.
And Marty and I, during the last few years of the Hebrew school, we were working on conversation books.
Oh, really? With
We
the
had
kids?
we had basic conversation books for kids. Yeah, we
Really?
we did the last 3 years. We working on it. Marty too.
And the kids would respond back, but they'd have
Yeah,
like small
yeah,
conversations.
yeah, small ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Listen, these days, if you're paying like at my high school is $35,000 a year. If you're paying $35,000 a year, you at least want to be able to speak Hebrew.
I would want them to do a lot of things for that much. That's expensive.
No, seriously, special ed is 55,000.
So they have special ed like Hebrew
Yeah,
school?
high school. Yeah, the day school. Yeah,
Wow.
55,000. That's the last time I checked.
Yeah.
Um,
Oof.
I was just curious. What do you think of the song? I just sent Tammy a song for the bonfire. Anyway, I came up with these songs that I like playing. Uh, Tammy's zombie. Oh, she doesn't like one song. No, she doesn't like No Horse with No Name.
Just I'm like,
I
went
think it'd be
to the
fun.
desert on a well, horse but no
She
name.
don't want it. Okay. No Horse with No Name. Yeah, she don't. I don't know. Some people just don't like certain songs.
Yeah, that's true.
She says yuck. She says the cranberries zombie. Yes, the cranberries. Um. Anyway, so let me see what you feel. Just one thing.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna eliminate Horse with No Name. What about One Day? You hear it every week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Born in the USA. I figured I wanted to have a Springsteen song.
Yes. Yep.
Long Black Train, which is going to be new to people, but I happen to like it.
That one is a
Boulevard
little bit newer, but that's not bad.
Boulevard of Broken Dreams. I have to have one Green Day song in there,
Okay.
and I have to have two songs with killer intros like Margaritaville and Brown Eyed Girl.
Margaritaville's a good one. Oh, Brown Eyed Girl's a really good one too.
What about Hey There Delilah? I added that today. I added Hey There Delilah because I really like playing it.
That's not bad. That seems like a pretty easy song to
Yeah,
play, isn't it?
yeah. What about Hallelujah by Rufus Wainwright? Like this, Scott can work on these too if I finalize these with Tammy.
Yeah. Hallelujah is which one? How does it go?
I heard there was a secret chord that David
Oh,
played.
yeah.
I
Okay.
don't
Yep.
know.
Yep. That one's good. Isn't that one long? Doesn't it have like,
I'm only going to do a few verses.
okay, that's good. Because I don't think many people know more
Eh,
than maybe one.
Hey, good looking, Hank Williams. Hey, good
Oh, that's a
looking.
good one. What?
What?
Yeah, cooking. Yep.
And I was thinking maybe doing Hey Soul Sister. Hey Soul Sister. Do, 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 do. It's a ukulele song. Maybe I'll do it on ukulele too.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
Uh, Last Kiss. Oh, where is my baby be? Oh.
Oh, that's a good one.
Love Me Do by I had to put one Beatles song.
Love me do. Just one Beatles song? There's so many.
Well, right now, Let It Be. Long Black Veil. I love the Chieftains version. Lying Eyes, Eagles.
Yeah,
Peaceful Easy Feeling, Eagles. Ring of Fire,
yeah,
Johnny Cash. Sweet Caroline, Neil Diamond. Had to put one in
yeah.
there.
We sing that one to Sweet Marion.
Oh, you do. Oh, Take Me Home, Country Roads.
Yep,
Take It Easy.
yep.
Three Little Birds. I had to put a Bob Marley song in there.
That's a good one.
The Unicorn Song. There were
Oh,
green
yes. The kids will
alligators
go
and long
bonkers for
Nicky.
that.
Wagon Wheel, of course.
Hmm.
Hey, and Zombie.
And Zombie.
Zombie is just fun for me to play.
You're gonna have to find a good place for putting Zombie in there.
I love that riff. But anyway, so what do you think of that list?
That's not a bad list. Well, how
Well, Horse with No Name doesn't have to. It wasn't in the original list. I just thought that, yeah. Oh, and we're gonna do a Creedence song, Down on the Corner, probably.
down by the water?
Yeah.
Out
That's probably. I
in
forgot to put it. I have it at home. And what do you think of if I add that one also about This Land Is Your Land?
Oh, that's not it. Well, that's a good one. We were just singing that for the last 3 days
Oh, really?
in the house. Yeah, for the.
Oh, so you guys know it.
Mhm.
Okay, so that would be a list.
Is there much
That's
cost?
like 20 songs. I think 20 songs probably is the max, right?
Well, what did you do at the last bonfire? How many songs did you guys end up doing?
We didn't. Lori just wanted a Havdalah song, so we didn't do much.
So just a few.
Yeah, we just
Think?
did Hebrew stuff. She wanted more time for people to talk and socialize.
It's not that bad, I guess.
But I wanted something with bonfire with rock songs, rock country. That's what I wanted.
Well, and this weekend is the show tunes, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The show tunes. Yeah. Tammy, I'm gonna send the list out. Tammy gave me the list of the show tunes. Yeah.
We're gonna be doing it.
6 o'clock. I hope Scott will.
Scott will be there.
Marcy's what?
Scott will be there. We're gonna do it remotely because
Okay.
I'm taking the kids to Rhode Island. We're gonna camp out in my mom's backyard, and we're gonna visit
Oh,
my dad for a
fancy
little bit.
camping.
Yeah. So, but I'll have my phone on me, so we'll be able to like zoom in, and they'll be able to hear some of the songs. My dad will get a kick out of the songs too. So.
Does he like Matchmaker? Matchmaker,
Matchmaker,
matchmaker.
make me a match. Find me a find.
Does he
Catch me
like Popular? One of my favorite. Popular from The Wicked.
from Wicked, yeah. I don't know if he might know that one, but yeah, I've played that one around the kids a few times.
Let me see. What show is this from? All I Ask from You. All I Ask of You. What show is? Oh, Phantom of the Opera. All I Ask of You is from Phantom
Oh, yes.
Opera.
That's a good one.
And then there's somewhere. Let me see where that's from. Yeah, she wanted to do a little fan. I told her it didn't have to be West Side Story. Somewhere's from West Side Story.
Oh, okay. I don't know that.
There's a place for us. Da, da, da,
I don't
da.
know that
Oh,
show that much.
I'm
No.
gonna send it out in advance. So I mean the list. I don't know if you follow or All I Ask of You. Somewhere Popular Matchmaker. Send in the Clowns.
Oh, yes, we sing that
Over
one a
the
lot. So,
Rainbow.
yeah,
And maybe Secondhand Rose will be an addition one.
nice.
I mean, I'm just not gonna. I think we'll do it again. So we'll see how popular this is. Okay, let's look at some sentences with this vocabulary because I figured the best day to learn things is with the sentences. Okay. Okay, so Avraham v'David nasu Yerushalayim. Abraham and David, they traveled nasu. They traveled Yerushalayim. Le in front of words means to. They traveled to Jerusalem. They ought to see a ta'ir, the city. Okay, nasu is to travel. Lirot is to see. So these are good verbs to know, Deanne. Nasu and lirot.
Okay.
Ha'ir is the city. When you put it in front of city, ir is city. Ha'ir is the city. So they both traveled to see the city. So the city is talking about Jerusalem, Yerushalayim.
Yerushalayim.
Ha'im ra'u, they saw at Har Zion, where I lived, the mountain of Zion. Et ha'knesset, these in the vocabulary, the parliament, vet ha'universita ha'ivrit, and Hebrew U.
University.
Pitom, suddenly, Omer David Avram. Pitom is suddenly, it's not in this week.
What, say that again? Pitom is what?
Suddenly.
Okay.
Pitom, suddenly, Omer David Avram. David said to Abraham, I'll tell you, you know what? Abraham, ani ra'ev. Again, ra'ev is hungry, which I am again for some reason. Ani rotzeh le'echol. I want to eat. Ani rotzeh, I want, le'echol is to eat. The root of it, there's 3-letter roots or 4-letter roots for every word. Ochel is the root. Le'echol means to eat. Efo misada. I think the best way to review this is to go over it with Scott, since he knows this.
Yeah.
The best way to learn, I think, is look at vocabulary and then you have to do sentences with it.
Right. And most of the time
that's what they do in all the programs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of the time right now I'm just feeding the couple of vocabulary words into my English sentences, since I'm not quite sentence worthy yet, just yet.
Okay.
Sometimes Scott may be able to recognize it and translate it all over.
Okay. Efo hamisada, where is the restaurant? Dod shalcha omer ki yesh misadot yafot b'rchov Yafo now Avraham. The uncle says that there are restaurants, nice restaurants. Misadot Yafot is nice restaurants, b'rchov Yafo, in the street of Yafo. One Avraham answers Abraham. Shnei bachurim, remember bachurim is little boys. Shnei bachurim holchim l'rchov Yafo. 2 boys are walking to Rechov Yafo. I'm gonna interpret. I'm recording it what it means, every sentence, and then so you don't need Scott necessarily.
Okay.
Avraham v'David nasu Yerushalayim rota ta'ir. Abraham and David, they traveled to Jerusalem to see the city. Him ra'u et Har Zion. They saw Mount Zion. At the Knesset, at the Universita Ha'ivrit. They saw Mount Zion. They saw the parliament, and they saw Hebrew U. Pitom, suddenly, Omer David Abraham. David says to Abraham, I'll tell you, you know what? Abraham, ani ra'ev. Abraham, I'm hungry. Ani rotzeh lechol. I want to eat. Efo misada. Where's the restaurant? Adot shalcha Omer, your uncle said, ki yesh misadot yafot b'rchov Yafo. There are nice restaurants on Jaffa Road. Ona Avraham, Abraham answers, Shnei bachurim, 2 boys, holchim l'rchov Yafo, are walking to Jaffa Road. How's that?
Yeah, okay. I could pick out some of the words. That's good.
No, but I'm saying, is it better now if I'm able to send it to your email here?
Yeah.
Let me see where it is. Okay, what's your cell phone?
401
Yeah.
644 2736.
401-644-2736.
Yeah.
Okay, I just sent it to you.
All right.
Okay. So is that going to help maybe to have that so you can go over it, and then I gave the little phrases in the translation of the words.
Yeah.
Okay, for next time, let's look at 127. For next Friday, let's look at these so you have them in somehow in short memory. Hasameach b'cholko. This means someone is happy with his chelek, with his portion. Someone who's happy with his portion in this world, you say, ish sameach b'cholko. It's a man who's happy with what he has in life. Pa'am, once upon a time. Kaspi is a name. Lifnei is before. Shar is the gate. Yitain, give. Avar, at past. Amar b'libo, he said, Lev is a heart. Libo is his heart. Mevakesh, he's looking for. Tamid is always. Imkain, if so. Lo ana, he did answer. What isn't yours? Ma she'eno shelcha, what is not yours? Hevin is to understand, and halachu darko means he went on his path or on his way. Halach is to walk, the darko is on his way. Okay, those aren't so tough, are they?
I don't think so.
But you got a few little phrases there.
Yeah.
Mech bechelko, happy with what you have. Amar bilibo, he said in his heart. And ma she'eno shelcha, what isn't yours. And halach darko, he went on his way. Okay. So you have a couple of words that we don't have in the last two vocabularies. Chacham is smart, like a chacham. They say in Yiddish, he's a smart guy. A gan is a garden. Okay, okay, so that would be the vocabulary words. And Zakein is old on the bottom of the last line.
Okay.
Okay, so Gan is a garden, like the Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, Deanne.
Yeah.
Does it help that you're going to go over the vocabulary for next week already, and I don't need to give you a file because it's already the translation is already on the page.
Yeah, should be.
And you know what we should do if you have a chance? Go over some foods at the restaurant. This is what I did on my Opon this week. Go over some foods at the restaurant. You have basar, beef, tarnagol, chicken, apples, tapuach, tapuz, orange, banana, avatiach, melon, gezer, carrot. Just the stuff
Oranges,
that you would,
rice.
chalav, milk, just the stuff that you would normally order. Lechem, bread.
Okay.
Because I think that goes well with the misada, with the talk at the misada at the restaurant.
At the restaurant, yeah.
When you're looking at the tafrit, you're looking at the menu to what to order from the meltzar or the meltzarit, the woman.
Okay. All right.
And you know what? You know where you find it? 126.
Yeah, 126, because we did
So you don't have to look through all of the things, but salat agvania means tomato salad. Salat pirot is a fruit salad. Maraki rakot is a vegetable soup. Afunim is pea soup.
P. Yep.
Kamitza is borscht. It says dagim kaved means heavy, is liver. Dag maloch is herring. Eggplant chatzil. Meatballs are kuftaot. Pancakes, which you serve in the morning, levivot. Lechem vechama, bread and broth. Lebanon is yogurt. Chalav, shemenet, cream, eggs, beitzin, glida, avatia, uga, pudding,
Pudding,
tarnagolet,
yep.
kitzitzot, and basar mevushal, boiled beef. I didn't see that on a menu in Israel, boiled beef, but kitzitzot is chopped meat. That's not a popular word. And kuftaot are meatballs. So those words aren't that popular. Kuftaot meatballs and kitzi and tarnagolet, some and kitzitzot. Those are not really taught in basic Ulpan, but I think you should know it anyway. Right? Chopped meat. You're making chopped meat for guests. I know you don't eat meat. Kitzitzot and kuftaot or meatballs. Can you make vegetarian meatballs?
We do, yeah. We sure do.
Okay, so you got all the foods there basically on 126 outlined for you.
Yep.
And what's your favorite on the page? What's your favorite food there?
My favorite would probably be Eurocoat vegetables.
Oh, okay.
Although I do like a good piece of mahaf and some pastry.
Okay. Okay. It's interesting how liver is kaved, is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you try to find words that you're going to actually use in a restaurant to speak to people. And yeah, I think glida is popular because it's ice cream, and of course, watermelon is very popular. Avatiach is important. And that the chet at the end is ach instead of cha.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the most important words for breakfast is livivot, cafe, leben, chalav, v'chema. Sushi. I had there was sushi for breakfast sometimes in Tel Aviv.
Like sashimi pieces or like the actual sushi rolled in?
No, just pieces.
Yeah, the sashimi pieces, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I told Marcy, I think it was left over from dinner.
Usually, yeah.
I don't think that there's normally sushi at breakfast time.
Yeah, usually it's like leftover from the night before from when you have a brunch or something like that.
The hardest words for me to know are kitzitzot, because I never really use that much, chopped meat, or kuftaot is meatballs. Only Dan, because I never use it much. Kuftaot and kitzitzot.
Yeah.
And I didn't use it once in Israel because I didn't see any kuftaot or any kitzitzot. Okay, so that I like this book. It's really good. I think they're nice conversations here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got some good words.
Okay, so we'll go next week. We'll go to 127 for that, and then I'll test you on the food. See how you're doing with the food.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's get to the Jewish literacy now.
Okay. Bring the book up here.
Okay, so where should we start today in this wonderful book?
So I think last week we talked about the Gaonim. And then we talked about the head of the exilarchs from 88.
Yeah.
Karaites we discussed a little bit. And then the Cairo Geniza, the special places to hide the worn out Torahs and scrolls and all the holy papers.
So which number should we start with?
Let's see. And we did the Judah and the Kuzari. I don't know if we talked a whole bunch about because I've read up to 106, but
Oh, you did? Okay.
yeah, there was the ban on polygamy by Rabbi Gershon, who also had the forbidden to read other people's mail.
Yeah.
Then there's the big chapter on Rashi. So,
well, Rashi's important and very important because we use his commentary a lot.
Well, and there's so much. There's not like one, like Rabbi Gershon is like 2 or 3 main things to talk about for him, but Rashi it's so much bigger because there's so many things that he gave commentary and input and stuff on. So, but But I like that he also had said, do not alienate those who convert. So, because he also like had that conversation about people who had to
Yeah,
convert to Christianity because otherwise they would be killed, and
yeah,
then wanted to come and convert back to Judaism.
yeah.
And some people were like, well, they shouldn't be.
You know what? You know what I'd like to do today is the late medieval period, 107, the Code of the Jewish Law, which is very important to know as a convert.
Let me get it over there.
It's on the late medieval period.
Yeah, let me just.
They have ghetto, and then they have Kabbalah, and then 107 is the Code of Law. You have it there in on the late medieval period chapters.
Here it is, 107, the Code of Law. Yeah, do you want me to read it?
So read that thing. That's important. It's important to know how our laws came about.
The legal code known as the Shulchan Aruch compiled the great Sephardic rabbi Joseph Caro in the mid-1500s, is still the standard legal code of Judaism. When rabbis, particularly if they are Orthodox, ask to rule on a question of Jewish law, the first volume they consult generally is the Shulchan Aruch. A major reason for its universal acceptance is that it was the first code to list the differing customs of law of both the Sephardic and the Ashkenazic Jewry. I'm just trying to get my page to change here. Come on, computer.
Oh, the computer. Yeah, mine is a hard time.
Yeah, he's just a little slow, that's all. Oops. Too far.
You got it?
One more moment, sorry, Rabbi.
Yeah.
This unique feature was not intended by Joseph Caro, but came through a happy coincidence. At the very time that he was compiling his code, a similar undertaking was being planned by Rabbi Moses of Poland, known in Jewish life as the Rama. Was thrown into some despair when he first heard about Caro's work, for he knew Caro to be a greater scholar than himself. Nonetheless, he soon realized that both Caro's legal code and his own would not by themselves meet the needs of all Jews. Thus, the Shulchan Aruch was published, with Caro's rulings listed first, and Azurli's dissents and addenda included in italics. It's divided into 4 volumes: the laws of prayer and holidays, diverse laws, including governing charity, Torah study, and Jewish dietary laws, laws concerning Jewish marriage and divorce, and Jewish civil law. To this day, rabbinic ordination usually is given to a student only after he has been examined on the Shulchan Aruch, particularly on those sections that deal with kashrut, the dietary laws. Why is that, particularly that one?
Because in Judaism, it's a great thing about keeping kosher. It's one of the key elements of observance.
Okay.
Shabbos and kosher. So that's why the emphasis there.
More than rote knowledge of the Shulchan Aruch's rulings, however, is expected. A popular Jewish folktale tells of a young student this is good, yeah. The prominent rabbi to be tested for ordination. The rabbi's first question was, name the 5 volumes of the Shulchan Aruch. The student, thinking that the rabbi had made a slip of the tongue, named 4, but the rabbi asked him to name the 5th. And the student said, there is no 5th. There is indeed, said the rabbi. Common sense is the 5th volume. Right?
Trick question. You know what? When I taught in college counting, I never gave trick questions. Like I had all these trick questions when I went to school, when I was younger, City University. And yeah, that's a trick question, asking for 5 different sections there.
Would they fail him for that?
I don't think so. But
Okay, there's just like a stick it in your face and see how you deal with it.
yeah.
What they do at the is that what they do when you go to the mikvah for
No, no,
conversion?
no. The only tough question Scott has was how are you gonna how's his life gonna be with you if you're not Jewish? He's Jewish and you're not.
Oh,
And he answered that you're going to convert to Judaism. That shut up the rabbis at the mikveh. Yeah, my buddy Earl was giving a little hard time about it. So
oh,
I don't know why. They won't ask you that.
that's good.
I don't think I'm going to have Earl there, tell you the truth.
Right. Oh, common sense is the fifth volume, and if you don't have it, all your rulings will be of no use, even if you have no other, even if you know of the other 4 volumes by heart. The Shulchan Aruch's exhaustive presentation of the details of Jewish laws suggested by the following, taken from the section listing the laws of Torah study, in which Caro gives directives to both teachers and pupils. The rabbi should not be angry with his pupils if they do not understand, but he should repeat the matter over and over again until they grasp the proper depth of the law. The pupil should not say that he understands when he does not, but should ask over and over again. And if the rabbi is angry with him, he should say, "Rabbi, it is the Torah and I want to know it, but my mind is inadequate." Do you ever feel like that sometimes with services that you have to give services on the same morals or values sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
To give you an example, what the size of a Shulchan Aruch would look, this is the Mishnah Brura. This is the code of law as compiled by the author of the Mishnah Brura. And this is just one, this is just Orach Chaim. So this is just one volume. We talked about, this is just one volume.
And how many volumes are there? There's 4, right?
4.
Wow.
So this is just to give you an idea. I mean, let me see. There's no Hebrew, there's no English in here. This is over 1,500 pages.
Wow. So then when you studied to
You
be
know what? Maybe we should have in the fall after you're finished. Maybe we should have like a little Mishnah. There's like a Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. There's like a mini Shulchan Aruch that has English. Maybe we should have a class in studying the mini Shulchan Aruch.
that would be interesting. And it would still have both of the Ashkenazic and Sephardic information, right?
Oh well, yeah. You have to add that for yeah.
Well, it would be interesting if we found like, I don't know, however many topics to make our own mini one, and then you read the pieces, because I can't quite read Hebrew yet.
Yeah. Well, okay, so yeah, so I would say what I studied mostly to be a rabbi is I studied this whole book. Yeah,
How many years does that take?
I spent, well, I went on and off for like 10 years studying this book. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, let me see. I think that would be an interesting class. Let me see. Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. I mean, we'd have to. I think I have somewhere. It's by Gansfeld. You can get it for an art scroll for like $28.79, and Thrift Book has it for like $14.79.
Uh-uh.
Let me see about Amazon. I mean, I used to have that all in my office. When I was in the office a lot, I used to read it a lot when I was in. Doesn't like it here. We don't have good service in here. Well, it's like 20 to in English it's like $32.
Yeah, that's not bad. We should ask,
Which section would you want to study? Maybe holidays?
yeah,
Um, yeah, so I think we look at holidays first, maybe. Is that, you think that would be of interest to people?
I think so.
Of all the sections, I don't think people want to get so much into laws of kashrut if not a lot of people are kosher.
Right.
What do you think?
I don't think that they want to do that, but I think the holidays portion would be interesting. Because there's a lot of emotions and memories and tradition that for a lot of people. So I think it rings pretty close to their hearts, you know. That's an easy one to get into.
You know what? I think we'll take a survey of people. What do you think?
I think that's a good idea.
I don't know if we should make it an exercise in reading some Hebrew and English, or let me see. Do I have something here like that on my shelf? I have it. I found it.
You do?
Oh,
You have that?
okay. Here's something called the Concise Code of Jewish Law, compiled from the Aruch Shulchan Aruch, and it's a translation by Rabbi Apple. And they got some Hebrew with the English, which is nice. And they put a little
Oh, I like that.
So I mean, so it begins with prayer, worship, and Torah study, has which I think is interesting.
Mhm.
The laws of the new moon, how to have a meal for prayers for sense, laws of kashrut, tattooing
Wow.
for under forbidden practices.
Okay, there you go.
You know what? This forbidden practice is a good thing.
Yeah,
shatnez, grafting of trees, separation of challah,
yeah.
men wearing a women's garment, tattooing. And people upset if it says it's a prohibition to tattoo.
I mean, I don't think that
I don't
they
want to
should do it.
offend people,
Right, but I also don't think that, if they've already made the decision to do it, right, then it's done.
Yeah.
There are plenty of things, plenty of the commandments that we've all broken, right? So it's not like we're any of us are innocent and have
I
nothing.
think we should start at the beginning with prayer, synagogue worship, and Torah study.
Okay,
I think that would be interesting to people mostly, I think.
yeah,
You think so?
I think so. I mean, I'm interested, but yeah, I mean, I think I would.
On that alone, there are 150 pages on that alone.
You could even do it on like for the next, 4 or 5 weeks. This is what we're gonna do. And it'll be reviewing prayer or Torah study or whatever, and break it
Yeah.
out into sections, and that way people might not feel so overwhelmed. Kind of like what we did with the alphabet,
Uh,
you know what I mean? So
did you find interesting the Ashkenazim, the Sephardim section here?
yeah, with the
After,
Yiddish and the
after Martin Luther, I think a lot of people don't realize these things. Sepharad means Spain.
right,
Sephardi Jews means Jews from Spain originally.
right,
And Ashkenaz is Germany.
right. And then
Most of the Ashkenazim are from Germany, and most of the Sephardim are from Spain. Not all, though.
no, but then I think there's Sephardic ones that are in Israel now, but they're not actually from Spain,
Yeah.
right? So, but they have pretty harsh attitudes towards each other. Yeah, the Sephardic ones that are in Israel now are Arabs, right? And they're not very.
Yeah.
However,
It's
most of the other.
interesting. It's interesting because in the 18th century, Amsterdam and London, Ashkenazi Jews could not sit with the rest of the congregation. They had to stand behind the wooden barriers.
Yep.
So, and they said in London in 1766, if a Sephardi married an Ashkenazi woman and died, no Sephardic charity funds would be used.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's very discriminatory, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there's been so many different like discriminatory things in general. Every chapter feels like it highlights another area where they were just where one group or all the groups were discriminated against.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting though that the Yiddish was spoken only in places where they didn't feel they had equal rights.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like their undercover language there that they were.
Yeah. It's amazing when they came to establish B'nai B'rith, the Germans, they barred people from Eastern Europe from membership.
Mhm.
There was always a problem between, I mean, my ex-wife comes from German Jews, so the problem is with German Jews, they all have the charm of Germans and all the modesty of Jews. German Jews were named Yekis.
Mhm.
It's a tough name to have. Nickname is among Jews to talk about German origins. They don't know what it means exactly. They mean cold, and my mother-in-law was cold, prompt, precise,
Right.
like the German trains when I was in Europe, always on time. Not like Italy when they were never on time.
Yeah. Right.
When Jews lived in Spain, they spoke Spanish with some Jewish influences. They continue to speak Judeo-Spanish, that's Ladino. Some people do speak it. The Ladino was preserved by Israel. There's they put millions of dollars every year for the Ladino. I was fascinated with Ladino when I was younger, Dan. I used to look at the Ladino newspapers and stuff.
Yeah.
The Hebrew word for Jew in Yiddish is Yid. This is incorrect. The language correct name is Yiddish. Jews of Poland and Russia spoke Yiddish, while the overwhelming majority of Jews in France and Germany spoke French and German. When they went to in lands with equal rights, they usually spoke Yiddish for the first generation. There are 200,000 copies of the Yiddish newspaper daily here in this United States, in New York. And some of the words are a non-Jews word, right? Yeah, shlemiel, shlemazel.
Nozzle. Yeah.
Schlepping. Candice Bergen said she wasn't a China maven. Kibbutz. Shlemiel, shlemazel. Okay, what other words? Meshuga, mensch, bagel, pastrami, yenta. They said the Yiddish people most speak it the best these days. They said they thought it was a dying language. Millions of Jews in America speak Yiddish.
Yeah.
That Yiddish festival in New York was great. My sister was there. Yeah, I'm gonna go next year, I think, in Central Park. It was a Talmud night, so I didn't go, but
Oh.
people don't realize the Khmelnytsky massacre is next.
Yeah, I had no idea about this.
This was so long before the Holocaust in the 1640s. How come people don't know about it? I mean, I first knew about it when I was looking at this book for the first time.
Same here. I only heard about it for the first time yesterday when I was listening to this chapter, and I was like, and I don't know if it's because it was only over the course of 1 year, but still,
100,000
100,000 Jews
a
killed.
lot of Jews killed.
Yeah. So, and in horrific ways.
I just didn't like reading much about it. It says if you have a weak stomach.
And then some were sold as slaves, like
Buried alive, skin off. I mean, children torn apart. I can't believe people would do this. Take an unborn child out and throw them. I mean, this is.
what was, since he was considered a great patriot, right, for bringing about the Ukraine's unification with Russia.
Yeah, but still, look at the stuff he did.
But what was the great thing that really came out of that Russia and Ukraine weren't fighting?
Yeah, but
and it didn't last.
No, look at it today.
Right. And they've had other issues.
And they call him a national hero still in Ukraine.
So,
I mean, the stuff that he did, I mean, I can't believe the way it's just terrible that what they did to people. I just can't even fathom people doing that stuff to other people.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they have Pidyon Shvui and people redeeming captives. And they said because of that, people were going to follow Shabtai Tzvi, the false messiah.
Yeah.
And who was Shabtai Tzvi? He only lived to be 50 years old. Can someone believe a Turkish Jew is actually the Messiah?
I'm sure there's someone who could believe it, but if they wanted to.
And his name was Mehmet. I bet this is a good trivia name. What name did he get when he converted over? Mehmet Effendi. You got to be careful about false messiahs.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that that's what people want to believe, right?
In a marriage between himself and a Torah scroll. Wonder why so many people went along with it. I think the prophet, he predicted the return of the 10 lost tribes. I think they were under oppression. That's why they believed in it, right? I can't believe that Nathan the prophet still wanted to tell people that he was the Messiah, even when he converted over.
Can't let go of the power.
Wow. Then Jacob Frank claimed to be his successor.
Swapping orgies. Good Lord.
Look at this, wife swapping.
Likely led to ostracism and persecution. Well, you would think, right? Come on now.
Yeah.
They charged with formal charges of murdering Christians and drinking their blood. What?
I like the way it said people think that Shabtai Tzvi was manic depressive. Is that going to save him?
Mm-mm.
And he died in exile in Albania. We got to be careful, Dan, for people who claim to be who they're not.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
What about, were you interested in Spinoza, his excommunication when he went? Cherem is the Hebrew word for when he went into exile.
So I hadn't read this one yet. I hadn't done the excommunication.
He only lived, what? He only lived
Years?
54 years, 55. So they called him a pantheist. God, this is this is not a good thing. He believed God was in nature.
Not a separate being with an independent will. What? That is not outside or apart from nature. No. That is
So
nature.
obviously they
What?
put him
That's
in.
what he said?
Yeah.
Oh.
He denied angels, the immortality of the soul, and God's authorship of the Torah. When you deny that,
Yeah.
so no one could do business with him, no one could speak with him, no one can go near him. So there's no evidence that he even was able to speak to a Jew again. And biblical criticism. Oh, my rabbi had a fit last night talking about biblical criticism. People like, analyze the Bible and say this didn't happen. That's not the word of God.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He said it couldn't be written by one person. And all of it dated to Moses' time. He pointed out that Torah was set down 800 years after Moses. He treated the Torah as a revealed word of God, but as a human document. That's not good.
Mm-mm.
He says the miracles were impossible.
Because they run contrary to natural laws.
Yes, they said it's impossible.
But it's God.
Then Gurion suggested that Cherem be withdrawn. Rabbi Zamson didn't act. Take it back. Take it back.
Bans of excommunication have been issued very rarely in Jewish life, which is fortunate since their effect can be devastating. A few years before Spinoza, another Dutch Jew, Uriel da Costa, also ran afoul of Amsterdam's religious authorities and likewise was excommunicated. Unlike Spinoza, da Costa was emotionally traumatized by the rejection of his fellow Jews.
You can imagine.
I mean, Goodness gracious. And recanted the views that had caused his excommunication. This degrading punishment that he was forced to undergo before being remitted to the Jewish community included a public whipping in front of both men and women. Oh boy. Almost immediately afterward, DaCosta committed suicide. Whoa, he seemed like he was on the edge anyways. Fans of
The only time it's been even talked about lately is when is it? When people won't give their wives a Jewish divorce.
Huh. It's weird. So like Spinoza, it didn't bother him that nobody talked to him. I almost wonder if
Yeah.
he's trying to keep people away from himself. Or is he just one of those people who refuses, like lives in their own reality? This is what I'm going to believe because this is what I believe, and no one's
Yeah.
going to tell me different. You know? And I know we've met people like that, and it's not necessarily about religion. It could be about any topic whatsoever, but they refuse to budge or listen or hear anything different, which is
Yeah.
it's strange to me.
Well, our history is sad in a way, People
Yeah.
don't like to study it because it's very depressing when you think about all the things that have happened to us and you see all what people did to us. It's just amazing.
Mm. I
We're
mean,
lucky we live now in a world that we live in here in the United States. If you go look at what happened back then, it was like terrible. I mean, with people, I mean, the pogroms, the Holocaust, it's just
mhm.
destruction of the temple, horrific things.
Yeah. And then I think like you go back to Noah's time too, and people were being awful then, and God had to step in
Yeah,
because goodness gracious, it was just a mess. Like,
it was a mess, a real mess.
and so sometimes I question, like, has it gotten worse than that? And he promised never again to do that to the world, and now we just have to deal with ourselves.
Oh, it's nice to see
So we
those
finally figured it
rainbows.
out.
Nice to see those rainbows after some of that flooding in Connecticut yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
I couldn't believe some of those streets with the water up the car near the top of the cars.
Yeah. I mean, they did put out the flood warnings for people to try and help them out.
I'm glad my street's never like that.
No. Yeah.
Can you imagine the car under? You see some of those things?
I mean, I would have moved it. So when my mom lived in the city, we used to call her, at different times during when there would be questionable weather, and she would always move her car or go to a different place where you wouldn't have to worry about whether or not your vehicle is going to get wrecked. I mean, the tough part is for people who live in those like apartment buildings and they're in the bottom floor and it gets flooded. That's not always easy, but
I know it's a horrible thing what goes on in the world with floods and things. It's just and tornadoes. At least we're not into a tornado area.
thank goodness. Yeah. Hurricanes and snowstorms are as far as I want to go. I don't have to deal with earthquakes and tornadoes or hailstorms. We don't really have hail here. That's nice.
So
So,
once in a while we do have it a little bit. So
yeah.
okay, so you got your works for this week.
Okay.
Hebrew and continue forward in the Jewish literacy.
All right.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to the Tammy's songs this week, so it'll be good.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of bummed that the kids aren't going to be there in person to hear the songs because they'll get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
But this was the only weekend that we could make a camp out to see Nanity and my dad.
Okay, well, it's
But we'll
important.
still be there.
Family is important. So
Yeah, they certainly are. But we'll be on Zoom.
okay, well, you'll hear it. You'll hear it. It won't be the same as live, but at least you'll hear it.
Yeah. So
Okay, have a good day. Be safe.
thanks, Rabbi. Have a good one.
Okay.